Hey everybody, Akash Inti here with a quick little video today. Today we're talking about yoga basics. And this yoga basics is probably not as traditional as you'd expect in the sense of we're not going through a breathing practice, we're not going through a stretching practice in an asana. No, rather something a bit more unconventional, yet something so important that I've found in my yoga practice in and of itself. And that's the idea of coming back to yourself and being within your own nature. Now, what do I even mean by this? What does being in your own nature have anything to do with yoga? Well, I'm glad you asked. As you guys know, one of the things that I do is I run yoga hikes. In other words, we do yoga in nature. Now, one just off the bat would be like, yoga in nature, okay, cool. What does this have anything to do with being in your own nature? Well, part of returning to our nature of who we are as ourselves is returning to nature. It's kind of weird and strange of a concept, but so often we're in these little boxes or estranged from nature. Estranged, or another word for that would be distanced from nature. We take ourselves out of being in nature, yet we forget that we're natural creatures. And so part of the idea of these yoga hikes and part of the idea of what I bring to this is to reconnect with your own nature within nature. It's by being inside of nature that you're able to be within your own. Oftentimes I found on these little journeys, expeditions, adventures, if you want to call them that, that's the silence and the swaying of the trees, the feeling of the breeze on my skin, the ants crawling across my mat, all of these small little experiences that I may think of as annoying or very sensational, and some could call it intense, are exactly what I needed to be going through. And so I encourage you all today to, on your next yoga practice, to take it outside. Take your next yoga practice outside. And when I say take it outside, this could be simply being on your lawn, if you have one available, going to the park and doing it on the lawn there. It could be going to a sacred retreat site for you. It could be a mountaintop where you have this rock that is a bit pulled aside, and if you mess up posture, you might fall off a small cliff. I'm not encouraging everyone to do this. I want everyone to be mindful and to recognize that you make your own decisions. However, I'm encouraging you to push yourself and really meet yourself at your limit and find your edge. This is where you find your edge, is actually within nature, by being with yourself. It's so funny. We've always known this. We've always known this. We're creatures of nature, yet we pretend we don't. A lot of the times in today's modern day and era, we get lost in the idea that we don't know who we are, or we lose the sense of who we are. We lose the sense of what it means to be us. We get caught up in other people's stories, and before you know it, you're like, you're so into someone else that you forget who you are, or you forget what's like to be inside yourself. One of the best ways, again, that I'm reiterating and I offer to you guys today, is to come back to being in nature. Return back to being in nature, to be in your own nature. So I wanted to impress this upon you and to share this with you. As it relates to a yoga practice, though, by being within nature, as one of the Hermetic laws is, as within, so without, or as without, so within. So whatever's going on around you, whatever you see externally in the world around you is actually a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And thus, by being within nature, or outside of nature, it demonstrates what's going on within you. When you're outside of nature, you're outside of your nature. When you're within nature, you're within your nature. So one might ask, and this is getting now a little, before if you're all too far off, one might ask, well, if I'm hanging out in places where there's a lot of people, or if I'm hanging out in areas that are very human-built, not quote-unquote natural, that might be one of the reasons why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. So anyways, I leave you guys with this. It's a yoga basics video. Return back to nature. Find your nature. You know exactly where it is. With that, I invite you all to continue to subscribe to this channel. I encourage you guys to like this video if you found it valuable, share, comment. Would love to hear what you guys are interested in terms of learning more about future topics. If you're liking the yoga videos, if you're liking the biotech videos, enlightened masculinity videos, or the communication videos, or any combination of the three, or if you're like, scrap all of that, it's absolute garbage, you could do something completely different and better, and that's exactly what we need right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm simply offering this to you. This is what I leave you with today. Remember, guys, keep up, thrive, stay sexy.